Dr. Josef Joffe, you are a professor of political science at Stanford University.
Yes.
If I can ask you, please,
American foreign policy.
what do you think about the current situation in the Middle East?
How many days do I have to tell you that? The situation in the Middle East is always horrible. This time it's more horrible than for a long time because the Middle East is falling apart. We are surrounded by a bunch of failed or failing states. And in those situations, kind of an army like Israel has, which has defeated all its enemies, is not the best instrument. How do you deal with civil war in Syria? How do you deal with the next coming civil war, maybe, in Egypt? So the instability of the Middle East is the first truly new thing in the last 60 years.
Now, what would you say about the tensions that are rising between Russia and the United States in regards to Syria?
Yes. Now we are back to the 19th century. We thought we were in the 21st, but the Russians are playing a classic great power game, pushing their navy forward into the Eastern Mediterranean, supplying the Syrian regime with state-of-the-art anti-ship and anti-air weaponry, and daring the United States to either pull back or like in a poker game, I see you and I raise you. And Obama, who has been leading the nation for 5 years away from world politics, suddenly discovered you can't say goodbye to world politics if you are the last remaining superpower. And so very timidly he has begun to counter what is a serious power grab by Iran together with Russia. And by the way, for nobody, it's a pleasant prospect for nobody to have an Assad regime by grace of the mullahs. So that's a very serious strategic situation.
Now, as an expert in political science, how would you advise Israel to act in this situation? Does Israel need to get involved when it comes to Syria, when it comes to Iran?
I said in the beginning that that classic means of power, like one of the best air forces in the world and best armies in the world, are not the right instrument. It's like having a steamroller where you need a dentist drill. So Israel has done quite well staying out, but obviously if the most advanced air defense system that the Russians have will actually be delivered, I think the pressure on Israel will be very strong to destroy it. And then Israel becomes a party to the war. So this is a nice summer and a nice birthday party, but behind all this, there's some very strategic, very, very critical strategic issues lurking for Israel, for America, and for the rest of the world. So back to the old Middle East, the biggest source of trouble since the invention of the planet.